Starlight Keep HFY presents Who Left the Airlock Open? Chapter 1. The Starlight Arena was the entertainment hub of the Keep, a swirling kaleidoscope of light, sound, and species. Holographic tournaments blinked across towering displays, acrobatic aliens flipped through loops of luminescent rings, and vendors hawked glowing snacks to cheering crowds. Above it all, banners fluttered with sigils from across the galaxy, catching the eyes of visitors as they filed into the circular seating tiers. Jack Mitchell, naturally, was where he shouldn't be, wandering the maintenance corridors behind the arena. Helping, as he put it. Thorin Ironstar, grizzled dwarven engineer and reigning champion of grumbles, walked ahead of him, muttering curses under his breath.
"You're here to observe, not interfere."
Thorin growled, his thick boots clanking against the metal floor.
"And for the love of all that's holy, don't touch anything."
Jack followed, hands shoved deep into his pockets, whistling innocently.
Who? Me? Touch things? Never.
Behind them, Zarkon, hulking, scaly, and perpetually suspicious of human antics, trailed like a storm cloud. His claws clicked against the floor as he glared at Jack.
"If he breaks something, I'll eject him myself."
Jack flashed his most disarming grin.
Relax, Zarky. I'm just here to learn from the best.
Zarkon's tail flicked dangerously close to Jack's boots. The group stopped near an external panel marked with an array of glowing glyphs. Thorin gestured to it with a wrench.
"Routine check. Minor power hiccup. Nothing to..."
What's this?
Jack interrupted, pointing to an ominous red lever nearby. It stood out against the polished metal, flanked by a medieval-style plaque that read, "Warning, do not open external vent," in glaring letters. Thorin froze.
"Don't even think about it."
Jack tilted his head, inspecting the lever like a kid spotting a shiny button.
But what does it do?
"Nothing you need to know."
Thorin snapped.
"Step away."
Jack grinned.
Bet it opens something cool.
"Jack, no!"
Thorin barked, lunging toward him. But it was too late. With a dramatic flourish, Jack pulled the lever. Chapter 2. The lever clicked into place with a satisfying thunk. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a deep, resonant clunk echoed through the arena, followed by an eerie hiss. Somewhere above them, klaxons blared in a cacophony of alien languages.
"Critical airlock breach. Evacuate immediately."
Thorin's face turned an impressive shade of red.
"You absolute catastrophe of a human."
Zarkon's growl reverberated through the corridor.
"What did you do?"
Jack held up his hands defensively.
Relax. It's just a vent. How bad could it be?
Answer. Very bad. Above them, the outer airlock door began sliding open, revealing a swirling expanse of stars. The artificial gravity in the maintenance level flickered, sending loose items drifting toward the breach. Wrenches, data pads, and even a vendor cart, loaded with glowing snacks, floated perilously close to the void. From the main arena floor, screams erupted as performers, including a hovering Lumaran gymnast with delicate, glowing wings, began drifting upward. Vendors clung to their stalls, shouting in alarm as holographic displays flickered wildly. Jack sprang into action. He grabbed a nearby banner, ripped it from its stand, and leapt toward the Lumaran performer.
Don't worry, I've got you.
The banner tangled awkwardly around her glowing limbs as Jack yanked her down, narrowly avoiding a floating toolbox. She glared at him.
"This is not reassuring."
Could be worse.
Jack replied, grinning.
You could be floating alone.
Meanwhile, Zarkon stormed into the arena, plasma rifle in hand. He fired at a rogue maintenance drone that was spiraling toward the breach, its robotic voice screeching,
"Unauthorized personnel detected."
"You've doomed us all!"
Zarkon roared.
I'm fixing it. Relax.
Jack shouted back, dragging the Lumaran to safety. Chapter 3. Back in the corridor, Thorin paced frantically, muttering about regulations and impending death.
We're going to be vacuumed into space. The shields won't hold.
Jack strode past him, eyeing the breach with unnerving calm.
Okay, here's the plan.
You have a plan.
Thorin snapped.
That's more terrifying than the breach.
Jack ignored him, grabbing a Talari acrobat's glider pack from a nearby stand. He strapped it on, adjusting the sleek metal wings.
Good thing I like flying.
Thorin's eyes widened.
You're going to fly out there without a tether?
Jack shrugged.
Tethers are for people who don't trust gravity. I'm fine.
Before anyone could stop him, Jack launched himself into the air. The glider pack's thrusters roared to life, propelling him toward the breach. The arena had become a wind tunnel, debris swirling chaotically as alarms continued to blare. Jack dodged a spiraling vendor cart, wincing as it smashed into a support beam.
I'll pay for that.
He yelled over the din. He twisted midair to avoid a maintenance drone that buzzed menacingly.
Relax, buddy.
Jack muttered, kicking it aside.
I'm authorized-ish.
The outer control panel loomed ahead, glowing faintly against the backdrop of stars. Jack reached it just as the vacuum began pulling harder, threatening to yank him into the void. He gritted his teeth, gripping the panel's edges as he slammed the manual override button. With a deafening hiss, the outer door began sliding shut. Jack hung on, muscles straining, until the breach sealed with a final clunk. The alarms fell silent, leaving only the sound of heavy breathing and distant cheers from the arena. Chapter 4. As gravity stabilized, the arena's performers floated safely to the ground. Vendors scrambled to retrieve their goods, and the crowd began clapping hesitantly. Jack landed ungracefully, the glider pack sputtering as he hit the floor with a thud. Thorin stormed over, his face a mixture of fury and disbelief.
Do you try to break the laws of physics?
Jack, still sprawled on the floor, grinned up at him.
Not physics, just rules.
Zarkon approached grimly, his plasma rifle slung over one shoulder.
You opened an airlock. Mid-show?
Jack dusted himself off, shrugging.
To be fair, it looked important.
A timid voice interrupted. The Yavarian intern, barely 3 feet tall and quivering, stepped forward.
I may have rewired the wrong panel earlier. That's why the lever was, active.
Thorin face-palmed so hard it echoed. Jack clapped the intern on the shoulder.
See? Team effort. Everyone's to blame.
Epilogue. Later, at the Dragon's Rest Tavern, Jack, Thorin, Zarkon, and Kale sat nursing drinks under the hazy golden lights. The air hummed with laughter, music, and the clink of glasses. Despite the day's chaos, the group had settled into an uneasy camaraderie. A gruff Talari freighter captain approached their table, his cloak billowing dramatically.
You the human who fixes things with duct tape and bad ideas?
Jack raised his glass with a grin.
Depends on who's asking.
The captain slid a star map across the table, its holographic display glowing faintly. The map was marked with a dangerous nebula maze.
There's a lost ship out there. Bet a Deathworlder like you might make it through.
Jack studied the map, his grin widening.
Sounds like fun. Who's coming?
Zarkon groaned, taking a long swig of his drink.
I'd rather be spaced.
The end. Thank you for listening. We create these stories for you to enjoy for free. So if you had a great time, show some love, like, and subscribe. It helps us keep bringing you more adventures. See you in the next audiobook.